Hey everybody, Billy from Mutation Creation. I'm here on vacation in Costa Rica. We're in a little town called Tamarindo. In the background you see Tamarindo Beach. I can't say enough about Costa Rica, the weather, the food, the people. We come here now every year, and I just love it. A lot of people are purchasing ball pythons just for the simple fact of price alone, and to me it's a no. When you purchase an animal, you should be purchasing because of the quality, and not only the quality, who stands or represents the animal, who made it, and why I say that is you buy an animal off of the internet or off of Kijiji or you know, a reptile ad, and you don't know who the breeder is, you don't know much about the person, and you buy just because of price. Ooh, it's a really good deal, you know, it's half the price that they normally are, let me go buy it. You go buy that animal, and then all of a sudden there's something wrong with it. You know, the quality isn't there. It is the morph that they said it is, but it's just, you know, a poor example or an average example, where I would rather buy a quality animal, because like I've always said, and I've hashtagged it, quality in, quality out. You know, when you have a quality animal, especially in your collection, you open up that drawer in the tub and you look at it, and it's amazing. Like, you're so happy that it's yours. And down the road, when you breed that animal, you're going to have more quality animals to either hold back or sell down the road. Now, when you have quality animals, they will sell faster than people that have average animals. And there's a majority of people that have average animals producing average animals, and there's nothing wrong with that. People get upset when they have all these animals and they can't sell them because they're just average. And, you know, a variety of people have average animals and they're competing against each other. And then other breeders will have quality animals that stand out, that more color, the vibrant, the pattern. It's just, you can tell it's a quality animal. And when those are for sale, they'll not only sell faster, they'll also sell for a little bit more than the average. And people that have quality animals, that breed quality animals, tend to sell those animals a lot faster. And that's where you get some of your money to recoup, to invest in other quality animals so that you grow your collection. And what I find is, what I've learned a while back, is the best way to grow your collection and grow your business is produce those quality animals, those high quality animals, and now you get to pick from those as your holdbacks and future stock for breeding. And the best thing is, it doesn't cost you anything, so you don't have to go out and keep spending money buying all these different quality animals from other people. You can produce them yourself. But that being said, I mean, I walked through an expo, and oh, I'm not even looking to purchase an animal, and I see an animal, I'm like, wow, what is that? That is phenomenal. And when I see it, you know, I don't even know what I'm going to do with her, or even a male. But I'll buy that animal because, first of all, I want that quality in my collection. You know, I don't want anyone else to have it. And I can get that animal in my collection and do something with it down the road. And I know it's going to make quality animals. But just the satisfaction of having it and looking at it and going, wow, this is mine. And you take pictures of it, and you see how people comment on the animal. And the best example of this is Tika Royals, okay, a lady named Sherry. You know, small collection, nice animals, quality animals, making quality animals. At the last Canadian Reptile Breeder Expo, she came up and showed me, and you know, last year I was lucky enough to buy a butter blade clown that she made. It was just really reduced and beautiful colors, and you know, she's doing well. You know, I was happy with that purchase. This year she showed me, and it was stunning. And I was busy setting up, and when I had time, I actually went over to look at it. Of course, Peter Williams from PWR Reptiles, he ended up scooping it up, and that's the thing is, and he posts it now, and when I see it, I'm just like, man, I'm upset that I didn't get it. It's just quality. I have females like that in my collection already, and I thought they were, you know, the top quality they are, but this one here is even better. and every time he posts it and other people share it and talk about it, you snooze, you lose. That's an animal that I regret purchasing. I should have jumped all over it, but regardless, you know, small breeder, quality animals, making quality animals, and you know, I'd even pay more than she wanted. Like if Peter would sell it, I'd actually pay him more than he paid for it, just so I could have it. And it's that kind of a quality animal. And going back to purchasing an animal from a breeder that you know, recognized and stands behind and has a good reputation, you might pay the same or a little more to grab an animal from a breeder, but that breeder you know is going to be there this year, next year, the year after. You know that you phone them up, there's a problem, they're going to be there to you know, deal with the issue or talk to you, support you. Where another person sells you a snake that happens to be sick, you know, he sold it for half the price. Maybe he sold it because, you know, it had mites or it wasn't doing well, it's not eating. You don't know, and he doesn't have a reputation to uphold. So he'll sell the animal, and he'll sell it through other means besides social media, you know, advertisements, Kijiji, you know, newspaper ads if they're still around. He'll move them that way, and no one even knows who he is. He'll meet you at a coffee shop or a parking lot. The transaction's done. Later on, you find out that it's sick and it's not eating. You try calling him up. He's not going to answer your phone. He's not going to answer your emails. You know, he's made his money. He's gone. He doesn't have a reputation to keep up. He just passed on his problems to you, and you know, instead of dealing with it and having quality animals that eat, as well as aren't mite infected, you know, he passes them on to you, gets his money, and moves on. Now, another thing by buying from a reputable breeder, you know, all mine are marked and labeled on my cages, on my racking system. You know, 2012 is a 2012. I know that because that's my records. But if it's not eating, and that 2012 animal, you know, now it's 2018, so it's 5 years old, 5.5 years old. If it's eating, and eating well, and a great animal, especially a female, that animal should be 2,000–3,000 grams. And I've already produced a clutch or two in the past. I have some that bad eaters. For some reason, they eat, and they eat to survive, but they won't grow. I have an animal that's 900 grams, and she's a 2012. She'll eat once a month, this and that. She doesn't look thin, she doesn't look sick, but I can't produce a clutch with her. I can't sell her as a 2012 900 gram. Well, I could. You know, bad eater. She's a 2012 5.5-year-old animal, 900 grams. She looks great. You know, it's a pet, but for breeding purposes, you know, I find other people out there that don't have a reputation to withhold and to build and to grow on. They'll sell it as a 2015. They change it from 2012. You know, add 3 years magically that you know, it lost, and now it's a 2015 animal. And now you look at it, it's like, wow, it's a 2000, you know, a 2-year-old animal that's 900 grams. Oh wow, you know, it's she's a pretty decent eater, or even worse, 2016. Wow, 2016, 900 grams. She's ferocious. She's a great eater. But then that person buys it, trusting that it's a 2016 or 15. You know, even though it's a 2012. That person now buys that animal, gets it there, expecting it to grow at a normal pace like the other ball pythons and breed. Meanwhile, it won't eat. It'll stress the customer out. The animal's not eating. It's you know, a waste of money for that person, because that person bought that animal to breed next year or the year after when it gets 15, 16, you know, 1,000 grams. Now that animal is a 2012. But the breeder, who has nothing to lose, you know, because he doesn't care about a reputation, doesn't have a company name or you know, a facility that he's proud of. He just wants to make money. And this person, this animal, you know, it's a 2012 problem feeder. Well, you know what? I'm going to pass that problem on to somebody else for monetary gain. I'm going to put money in my pocket and sell the animal, so it's not my problem anymore. And this other person buys it, and it's maybe somebody new, or depending on the animal, someone will buy it, and now that money isn't an investment anymore. It's an expense, because that ball python's not going to eat, not going to breed. It's going to fill up your rack, take time, bedding, work, etc., etc., and it's not going to do anything for you, because the person that sold it to you sort of passed on his problems to you. Now it's your problem, and you try calling the person, how come it's not eating? 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be able to call you back, or they're not going to respond to you and deal with you, because they've passed their problem on and they don't want to deal with it. That's why they sold it. So you got to be careful who you buy from, because you're taking people's word. I'm always dealing with people calling me saying, hey, I have a snake that won't eat. Hey, I have a snake with mites. How do I treat it? Well, why don't you contact them? Oh, they're not answering the calls, or they're not responding to my emails. Well, of course not, but I'm not going to turn my back on these type of people, and they were misguided. They bought because of price, more likely. This other breeder that sold it to them, some fly-by-night guy, and we're going to have many come in and many leave, or if they're good at it, they're going to keep staying in, unfortunately. But I'm not going to turn my back. Oh, you didn't buy the snake for me? Oh, it's your problem. No, because I want to help them, and hopefully with my guidance and my help, and I get them through this. When I'm here to educate them and let them know that there's breeders out there like myself that'll give you the time and help you, and not only for you, but for the animal's sake. And down the road, hopefully, with all the help that I give them, and the time and the effort, they'll say, hey, next time I want to buy a snake, I want to buy from Mutation Creation. Like Billy's always helped me, and if not, if I don't have that snake, I'm gonna guide them to someone that I would recommend. Oh, this guy has it, go to this guy. And then they buy this animal, and the animal's sick and has mites, and they're calling me again. No, I'm gonna guide you to a person that I would purchase from, that I know cares about the animals, cares about their customers, cares about their name and their reputation. That's why we help each other out, and we help grow as a community. Because this business and this hobby is just getting bigger. I introduced so many new people, to their first ball python, and getting over all the myths, like, oh, it's not slimy, and oh, he's not gonna eat me. No, so this is keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, over the last 11, 12 years, I've seen our shows here up here in Canada go from small venue to bigger venue to even bigger venue to the CRBE, big venue once a year. But even those smaller venues are big. There's tons of breeders and tons of people and new people coming through, and it's growing, and it's constantly growing. It's going to get bigger next year and the year after. We've got to help, as a community, stick together, and not only that, like, weed the people that are no good for it out, and warn other people, but you got to do it professionally, and I don't want to be reading posts every day about people slandering other people. But there's a time and a place for it, That's why the Board of Inquiry is really good, and people need to use it. If you have a bad experience, I mean, not every bad experience you just throw up there because it's something to do. But I mean, there's a lot of people out there that deserve the BOIs that they get against them, and it's their own fault. If you're not selling quality animals, healthy animals, animals that are what you say they are, properly sexed animals, you got to treat your customers right also. You can't be sitting there and they have questions for you about the snake they just purchased, and you have no time for them, and you start, getting threatening to them, start, belittling them, and your business is just going to go down. I mean, you don't need me to put a BOI up, or somebody else to put a BOI up about you, because you're just killing your own business, and more people are going to find out, and hey, that's the name of the game. You got to have quality, healthy animals. You got to have customer service and a reputable name, and without that, you're not going to go very far. And by all means, you have to have a passion for this. I mean, you can have lots of money, and you can spend it all, and have amazing racks and amazing snakes, but if you don't enjoy looking at them and cleaning up after them, and feeding them, and creating new genes, and making stuff that you saw 3-4 years ago, that's the best. You know, when you see an animal that someone made and you're like, wow, look at that. And you buy the ingredients over the years, or you make them, and then 3, 4, 5 years later, you actually produce that animal that you fell in love with years ago. Nothing more satisfying than that. You got to have a passion, and you know, it's just something. You know, you're not going to go forward and do well in this business if you don't have a passion for this, for the animals, for the snakes, for the whole process. You know, it's a lot of work, and you know, just breeding and keeping, that's work. But the work, I think, is you know, answering emails and trying to sell those animals, taking pictures, weighing them, answering all the dumb questions that people ask you. You know, you put everything in the ad: the name, the price, the sex, the parents, the hatch date, you name it. You put everything in there, and you still get emails and phone calls. Hey, yeah, is it a boy or a girl? You know, what kind is it? When was it born? Like, holy moly! Like, just read the article. You know, there's so much work, and another thing too is that end that has tons of patience. Like, I put more work into dealing with emails and contact, phone calls, and you know, I'm not trying to sell the snake, but just answering people's questions about the snake. You know, there's so many people that'll call you, put an ad up, a quality animal. You know, you get tons of emails and phone calls, and you don't know which one of those people is a tire kicker, somebody that just calls because they have nothing to do and they want to talk about an animal, but they have no intentions of buying it. You know, or there's somebody out there that you know, might want that and 10 other animals. You know, spend $10,000. You don't know. By picking up the phone, you're not going to know who is wasting your time and who's serious about spending for that animal or lots of animals. You know, you got to treat every single phone call and email like they're the same. You know, a $10,000 purchaser, you don't know the difference between that or someone that's going to waste your time, that just is bored and just wants to, you know, talk about this animal he wished he had as his collection. You don't know that. So you got to give everybody the exact same amount of time. And I know it's hard, because time is something that we can't buy or we can't make. It's something that's there, and you got to put the time in. And I think more time is put in to dealing with people's emails and phone calls and questions and sending pics and weights and birth records and dates and etc., etc. Than the whole feeding process and breeding process and hatching process. You know, you've got to, this is a full-time sort of business where it's not just you breed once a year, you make animals and they sell fast. No, you got to put work in every single asset, in every single facet of this breeding. You know, you can't just, you know, give this guy, oh, I remember this guy's email, he's bought from me before, I'm going to give him more time than this guy here I've never heard of. This is a new guy. So read the ad, see you later. You know, it's not going to go well. You've got to put the same amount of time into those people that you don't know compared to good customers. You got to treat them all the same. And I know it's hard, and you know, but you've got to, because I've had customers, and I had one in particular that everybody said, oh, this guy here, oh, this guy contacted you. Yep. Yeah, he contacts me, never buys, wastes my time. But I still treated him the same way as my other customers. I gave him all my time, not all my time, but I gave him enough time, answered his questions, sent him things, and, you know, what about this animal? What do you think about this? What do you think about, you know, getting into this project? And I answered them. And 6, 7 months later, when he was ready, and I never knew when he was ready, he came in and he spent a lot of money. And he said to me, he goes, you know what, there's you and 2 other guys here in Canada that gave me the time of day over the 7 months. And he spent with all 3 of those people because we gave him the time. And he wasn't wasting time. He wasn't tire kicking. What he was doing is he was, you know, educating himself. He was learning. He was doing research online. He wasn't just calling us up and picking our brain. And, you know, I was giving him, you know, hours and hours of my day. But he would ask, hey, I heard this on the internet, is this true? Or this is what some person said, what do you think about this? You know, and he was setting everything up from his temperatures, his racks, you know, hotspot, do you cool? He was just, you know, answering, you know, giving me questions, and I was answering them, and he was dealing with other people, and he was educating himself towards this big purchase. And I know he spent quite a bit with me and a few other guys, like I said, because we gave him the time. We spent time with him. If we treated him like, hey dude, oh, it's you again? I don't have time for you. I wouldn't have had that 5-figure sale, you know? I mean, and I don't know what the other guys did, but I know that he bought some nice animals and they didn't come cheap. And he did his due diligence. He educated himself. And I gave him the time because I know back when I started, you know, the internet wasn't as fruitful with you know, advice and stuff out there to learn, you know, to do what we do. And there's a lot of breeders back then. Everything was hush hush. You know, you can't come to my facility. You can't know what I'm making. You'll see when I make it. You know, and they didn't have time for me. And now look at me. I got, you know, I mean, you know, and they haven't got much business from me. But you know, I try to do what I want. You know, I try to treat others how I wanted to be treated. Me coming up to where I am now, you know, I've dealt with a lot of stuff, been burned, met people and bought the wrong animals and sick animals, wrong sect animals, animals that were supposed to be het this and het that weren't. And you know, you've got to purchase quality animals from reputable breeders, you know, big or small. Know that, you know, talk to these people. Do they care about you? Do they care about their snakes? Do they have a passion for this? You know, because that's where I want my money to go. You know, I don't just buy animals from Justin Kabilka and Aussie Boyds and, you know, big guys here in Canada. You know, I buy from people that produce amazing quality animals, and they don't have to be a big name. It's the snake, the passion they have, you know, and you know, they get so excited when, oh my God, Billy, you bought a snake from me, Mutation Creation bought a snake for me, and they're so thrilled, and it's awesome that I can, you know, and they shouldn't just because I bought it because you made it. It's quality. I want it. It's awesome. Like, thank you for, you know, doing it right and making this amazing animal so I can have it in my collection. You know, I mean, I'm honored to have it. You're honored that I bought it from you. I'm honored that you made it so that I can have it. You know, I mean, don't forget where you came from, everybody. You know, I mean, one day if I'm at the top, I'm still going to be the same passionate, hyperactive guy that's going to always give my time and help people, and I want people to do well. This is amazing. We're building a community here. And, you know, everyone that knows me, man, I talk. That's all I do. But I'm passionate about what I do. And, you know, I can help people because nobody gave me a lot of the time of day when I came here, and I had to make those mistakes, and I could stop you from making them. You know, if I'm giving you advice, whether you take it or not, but at least listen to it. You know, and you make your decisions. But everyone that has listened to me and has done fairly well. You know, and I'm glad I can give back and help people. You know, I wish I had more of it back when I was coming to where I am now, because, you know, I'd probably be a lot further ahead than I am now. And, you know, it's just, it's something that, you know, if we can all work together and stick together and help each other out, weed out the riffraff, and, you know, there's always going to be people that come in and get out, you know. And the one reason why they get in and get out, because they don't understand this takes time. You know, you can have lots of money, come in, buy the animals, and first year you don't get what you expected, and, oh, there's no money in this, and they sell off. Well, thanks, because I'm one of those guys that buys your collections at a lower value so that I can put it, inject it into mine, or sell some of it off and make some of my money back. And now, years to come and time is going to make me more money with your animals at a discounted price. Like, thanks. It's time. You know, if you don't hit something this year, next year's going to be better. You start holding stuff back this year and the following year, every year if you hold stuff back, you keep growing the years after. And if you keep, you know, making your animals higher end and better quality and more genes and different genes and, you know, double recessive animals, or, you know, 3-4 gene het pieds or het clowns or stuff like that, when they're ready in years to come, you think this year was good, next year's going to be even better, and the year after that, because your animals that you hold back and your collection's getting, you know, better quality, better genes, you know, you're going to start making more money, better animals in the future. But you can't do that if you don't hold stuff back or you don't make it. And it takes time. You can have all the money in the world. You don't got time, you're not going to do well. You need to have the patience, the time, And this is coming from a guy that has no patience, you know. I've stuck through this for a long time. I love what I do, and that's another reason. Time is a factor I can't control, but my passion lets me, you know. I want to get there, you know. I want to do better next year and the year after, and make stuff that I wanted last year and the year before. I've got the ingredients in my rack, you know. Or instead of making that, you know, what other people have done, you know, take the blinders off and let me put this to this. Let me see where I go, you know. Sometimes it's like, oh, I just wish I went with this direction, but you know, you hit something new and exciting and incredible. Wow, man, good for you. You know, now people are following you. And I don't know, I mean, it's just such a great hobby, and people need to work together and help people and you know, support those people that have the passion, have a name, they give it, you know, they care about their animals, their customers, you know. You want to support people like that because they're going to be there 5, 6, 7 years down the road. These people in that, you know, just come in and, you know, sell and toss, you know, they're going to get bored. They don't have the passion behind it. You know, this isn't worth it. This isn't making me the money that I thought it was. You know, there's always something, and they're going to move on. You know, it's okay to support them, but you should really think about where the longevity. If you're going to be here for 5, 6, 7 years, you want to support and be around people that are going to be there when you're there too. And you know, that's something that a lot of people forget. You know, stop buying because of price and price only. You know, price is a big factor, but not more than quality, not more than from, you know, the person that represents that animal and who's going to be there for you. I mean, those, to me, I'd rather pay more for that than, you know, half price on an animal that, you know, I've got no support, and, you know, I'm praying that, you know, that deal that I got is actually a good deal. Another thing too is you got to ask the proper questions when purchasing animals too, especially when it comes to breeder females. Okay, breeder females. I have a piebald female. That's 4,000 grams. She lays 10 eggs every year. Okay, so when she drops weight, she usually drops weight around 2,800 grams after she lays. So if I want to sell her this year, okay, I get some food into her for a couple months. So she always lays in October. Okay, so October comes, she's 2,800 grams. I get some meals into her. December, she's 3,000 grams, say. So now I put an ad up saying, piebald, proven breeder, 10 eggs, 3,000 grams. I never lied, because it is a pied, it is a proven breeder. She lays 10 eggs, and she's 3,000 grams. But when people buy it in December, they're figuring, oh, because she's 3,000 grams and she's a proven breeder, I'm going to breed her, you know, during the breeding season and breed her in January, February, March, and she's not going to lay or give you a clutch then because she just laid 2 months ago. You need to ask the breeder, which I always tell people, this is when she laid, and this is how much she weighed when she laid, so I know if she's actually been eating, and I can tell you, hey, in the last 2 months, since she's laid, she's gained 200 grams. So she's already back on food, you know. But if you're trying to breed her in you know, this season, you're going to have to breed her in June or July. So you need to ask that to the breeder. When did she last lay? Because if a breeder tells you, or myself, if I told you it was a pied, it is. She's 3,000 grams, she is. She lays 10 eggs, she does, because I can show you year after year her on the eggs and all of her babies, because I got all the records. And she's a proven breeder. So you buy it without asking the question, when did she last lay? Because I didn't lie to you, but breeders won't give you all the info because they want to move that animal now. Because people in November, December are looking for animals, proven breeders that can breed right now. They put it in quarantine for a couple weeks or a month, and then they're putting it into the rotation to get, you know, their money back, or they're breeding it this season because they, you know, they have a project they need a pied for. I didn't lie if I didn't say that she just laid 2 months ago, because all the information I gave you was correct. But you need to ask the breeder, even though as a breeder I tell people, hey, she just laid, this is her lay weight, this is what she weighs now, so she's back on track, you know. because I don't want to sell an animal that hasn't eaten in 2 months since she's laid, you know, because then I'm going to have more problems with people calling me back down the road. Hey, it's not eating, what's going on, blah, 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 it's getting sick. You know, I don't have the time to answer those calls. I'd rather keep her, get her back to weight, myself and breed her, or sell her to somebody when she's back on food and she's established eating again. But if you don't ask questions like, to the proof on a female, when did she last lay? And when she last laid, what was her weight? So you want to see that she's back on food. Because my female pied, even though I didn't misrepresent her at all, I just didn't give you one information of when she laid. That female is a beautiful animal. You'll be happy with her, but she will not breed when you want her. You're going to have to wait 6-7 months in order to start pairing her again. So if you want an animal to breed now, it's the wrong animal. So you need to ask those questions to the breeder, because a lot of breeders just seem to tell you what they want to tell you so it sells, and they forget a lot of information, and those are the type of people you want to stay away from. You know, you want to be able to ask questions, or, you know, those people that give you the information and they tell you. Here's a great example. Will Moreau's Royal Canadian Reptile posted for $2,000 a breeder pastel clown. Great example, nice looking, quality animal. He's got great stuff, great guy. He posted, first year she laid, and the second year she laid. They both laid slugs. Also, they both were 2 different fathers. But he put that in his ad, and it didn't fly out. Like, I looked at it, I even gave him a call. I was like, hey, you know what did you do, blah, 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 the information. And I'm like, you know what, and you know, will you take any less? And he's like, no, I'm firm on it, and I think it's a great price. I just want to be upfront, and if not, I'll try her again. But that's a guy that cares about his customers, his animals, his reputation. You know, he puts everything, like myself, out on the table. So if you buy that animal and it lays slugs year after year after year, and he didn't tell you that, or you never asked, you know, can I see it on eggs? Can I see the hatchlings? If you never asked, he necessarily didn't have to tell you. But as a respectable breeder, and he cares about his customers and his name and everything, he exposed that right up there, which is great. Like 2 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up, whatever. He's phenomenal. And whoever bought it knows what to expect or what possibly not to expect. But being upfront about it is something where, you know, if there's more people like him, you know, there'd be a lot less crap going on in this community, in this hobby. But I mean, you know, way to go, Will. You know, total respect, and you know, your amazing contribution to this hobby. And you know, I want people to ask, you know, questions, like especially with proven breeders. Ask when it laid. Ask the weight of when it laid. You know, and if some breeders don't have that, it's understandable. But they have a picture of it on eggs. They have to. Let me see some of the hatchlings. Let me see it. Let me see it on egg. Everybody takes, especially now with social media, they take a picture of it on eggs. They take a picture of it paired, locked, the size of the poop, fresh shed. I mean, we're constantly taking pictures. And if you can't get a simple picture from an animal that someone's trying to sell, or they can't answer you a question or two, then, you know, red flags, run. It's not worth that purchase, you know. But you also have to ask those questions. Don't just take whatever the breeder says to you and just say, oh, that's all the information. He gave me everything. That's all I need to know. No, ask other questions. Ask to see pics. Ask, do your due diligence. You know, find out as much as you can. And if they can't and give you the answers or pictures, or you don't feel confident in how he is responding to you, or if it's short questions and he's trying to avoid the subject, and you know, it's probably a good thing that you just walk away from the sale or the purchase, because you know, you're probably going to get burned, or there's something wrong that he's not telling you, you know.